Well, a good morning to everybody watching Global TV Uganda. My name is Senaulia Adrian, and this is the Global TV Uganda. With me, I'm always Padre Brian, and we are always analyzing, updating you about everything else that is happening in Uganda and around the world. It's a lot, and one of the major things that have shaped the week was the speech of the president, the State of the Nation address. He came out and said, okay, the whole speech was okay, but he came out with a statement that I don't know whether it was okay. You're going to enlighten whether it was okay. He said that Uganda is soon being ranked. I don't know. Is soon getting to the middle income status. It's soon being ranked, but it's soon getting into the middle income status.
How soon?
I did not.
Okay. The good thing is he used it is soon. Probably he didn't mention it is soonest going to be considered as part of the middle.
But even then, it is
middle
very
income
important.
status. The thing is, we have to look at countries that have been there, and of course, look at what. What actually are the determinants for any nation to be among those that are under the middle income status? In the first place, that as Uganda, we embarked on infrastructural development, which we've seen grow over the years. We were a country in the early 1980s, late 1990s, early 2000, that lacked a big deal of infrastructural development. We still by then had roads that were maram. When you look at Uganda's road network across East Africa, it is said to be the best. The last time I made my own investigations from at least people who move places across East Africa. One did state that when you look at Uganda's network, it is so far the best in terms of coverage. It may not have the best roads, but at least it is universal. So that tells a lot as to where we are heading. Secondly, we are a country that has done a lot in encouragement of education. So with the education sector, at least it has helped a big deal for people to have the technical know-how on dealing with several things that require the knowledge and professionalism as far as advancement of any country is concerned. We've got very many Ugandans in the IT, which is in line with education. We've got so many in the mining sector. You understand our country sent a couple of youth to study and understand the extraction and discovery of oil. So we are a country at least that is heading there. And when the president comes out to state that we are soon heading to the middle income status, I'm not surprised at all.
Away from the narratives that it could be, from the verbatim and from the propaganda, it can be. I've not said it
propaganda,
is, but it can be
at
propaganda.
least it is often questioned by absence of actions. When we look at it all, there are actions. Of course, Ugandans tend not to see what is in place. When we talk about these roads, probably one that they could look at is the fact that these roads are expensive. But the question is, are these roads in existence? Yes, they are. So if we have these roads, if we have different urban centers really turning into...
Let's leave the issue of expenses, because that is also going to be yet another. By this time we could be maybe in the first world countries, but because of the way expenses are manipulated, we have not yet even reached the middle income status. But away from the expenses now, do we really feel like, because let's leave the narrative.
For me,
according to what we see as you and me.
For me, you diverted me away a little bit. I think one, it would be very unfair not to say that as much as we have questions with integrity, with whatever it is, because if we talk about corruption, it is everywhere in the world, including the very other neighbors that have got better roads, better medical facilities that we have. They could be better, but minimal in numbers. So at the end of the day, the question is, are these things in place? Yes, they are. Where are they leading us? They are not leaving us in dooms, but putting us in a given situation of social, economic, and political development, growth and development. So when we get to listen to the narrative of the president, it shouldn't just be taken as a narrative without actions. It is narrative with actions behind it.
The other question, what has delayed Uganda from getting there?
What has delayed Uganda from getting there? So I believe growth and development, it's a process, for it is never an athletic run, for example, that one gets into a playground and they run a number of laps and they are done within a day or hours. So when we talk about economic and development of nations, it is a whole year's journey. It is a journey it's a journey that takes a lot of years. We still have countries that are not Uganda, but by the 18th century or 19th century, they were under industrial revolution. But they are not, it's not to say that all of them are United States of America, neither to say that they are all United Kingdom. So if they are growing, so we should have also a hope that we could grow and reach there.
You have dodged my question. What has delayed Uganda from getting into the middle income status?
There is
no delay.
The question is that there is no delay. What we take as delay is rather a thought of mind that we believe in disillusionment. We tend to think things happen as miracles. When we talk about issues of economic growth and development, these take time. They are not something that you think should be there as if it is a creation of God. During the creation of this world, so God would say, maybe I hear he would state, let there be the earth, and then it occurs.
Now,
so this is not it. We are talking about a lot of effort someone has to put in over years to be where they are.
Okay, I'm one moderator you will not find anywhere. I'm going to disagree with you. Getting into the middle income status has delayed, because this is not the first time they are telling us that we are soon getting there.
What's wrong with giving you the hope?
The man told us 4 years back. Anytime now we are getting there, but the situation is worsening.
Anytime is not defined by
the situation
the soonest time. Anytime can also mean after 10 years.
And getting into the middle income status has become, you see in Uganda you have a proverb, agenyana ganywe bamuwangazi.
Are you a Christian, and a proper Christian? So when you are in church and you are told that Jesus is coming soon, have you ever seen him the next day? So we must believe that when we are told certain things, we should have that faith that these things are going to happen. So countries that are in the middle income status,
it's not faith.
It is also about faith.
Hope.
It is also all about faith. Of course, when you have hope, what is hope in Uganda?
Hope is a subi. Faith is okukiriza. We have a false hope, we don't have a false faith.
You have
false hope is there.
Now there are those with the false, those who seemingly take it to be false hope, like you, but there are Ugandans who have a faith that this thing will happen.
Okay, hope. Okay. If Uganda, this is my statement and I will own it. If we get into the middle income status, next year or in 2024, then I will now start questioning the people that run.
The challenge with you is the definition of we shall get to the middle income status soon. I told you that the Bible has it that Jesus is coming soon. It's never defined by the next minute or the other day, or it is any time.
Now,
so it could be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, or
10 years from now.
We must live with faith.
Okay. Listen. The country is 58 years old. Some countries are younger than we are. They are there. Now, I would insist we have delayed.
Which countries are younger than us that are there already, that have had the similar characteristics we've lived before? Talk about them.
What similar characteristics are you talking about?
What I mean, which countries do you think are in the middle income status, and so they are young than us, and that they have lived similar features as we have lived? Features of war. Features of war. And we've had war fought in northern Uganda, that is Kony War, that was there for decades. We've had war in the western part of Uganda, and in a war, when you put arms and ammunition in place, there is no way how you are going to make profits out of the war. It's always bloodshed and destruction. Mark you, it is also that the country's national revenue is now diverted into a non-profitable venture, that is war. So we've had LRA rebellion in northern part of Uganda. We fought ADF rebellion in western part of Uganda until now.
Because you are getting into the bad work man narrative.
It's not a bad man work narrative.
A bad work man.
You see some proverbs. At times they work as, at times they don't work as, depending on what you are talking about. Why? I'm saying that we are talking about wars that have been existent here in Uganda. If you want to imagine how much of money one uses in a war, you just ask yourself how much is a tank, a military tank itself.
Now, as I go to the last issue.
Yes.
I can remind you of this. As I go to the last issue in this video, I can remind you of this.
Let alone of the amount of money you inject in a war.
It is okay.
We're talking about the political instability.
Very important.
It's very important because
as we go to
for
the
a peaceful country can always have their economic growth and development go on smoothly.
As we go to the last issue.
Yes.
Uganda is considered one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. We
have at the moment, not the most peaceful.
One of the most. We have a president that builds all his mistakes on peace. 3. We are in the same class. We are in the same status. Like South Sudan, that got its independence 10 years back.
That is being unfair.
We are going back into.
Let's discuss
another
this.
Issue connected to
that
this.
Is being unfair. You cannot compare Uganda with the Southern Sudan, whose nationals do not have,
we are in a union set of
faith in their own country that they flock into this nation. But even when we are in the third world state, the third world status, I think, has also different categories. So it's not to say that we are the badly off.
No. Well, that was his idea about our position in world economy. And by the way, if it was politics and peace, we would be one of the best countries. But economically,
of course,
that is where
politics
we are.
and peace, it has come just of recent. We've really suffered a lot of insecurities, that is political insecurities in this nation. So for someone to come and you compare Uganda to Southern Sudan, that is equally as someone to state that we have got Ugandans lacking patriotism.
I spoke this in a spirit of
lack
realism.
of patriotism. It's not realism.
This was in a spirit of realism.
You can't compare.
I was like,
you can't compare.
We are in the same.
You can't compare a patient on oxygen with that one soon to be discharged from the hospital. These are two different patients.
Because which other country are we better than?
Oh, there are a couple of those countries. If we talk about, for example, the likes of Kenya being, of course, it is better than us by the GDP, the economic development in the urban centers.
Isn't it the second class?
In urban centers, yes, it is.
Is it in the second class?
But in the real sense of it, let's get to the grounds. You just get to Kenyan peasants. Kenyan peasants would by far prefer being in Uganda and live the peasantry life of a Ugandan.
That is yet Kenya. A conversation.
Then when you go to
day.
Rwanda, Rwandese peasants, again for them they are miserable and more miserable.
Which peasants are not miserable?
When you go to Congo, yes, we have issues over our peasantry life. When you go to Congo, with them, they are delayed to be buried. They are totally in a situation that is unamended, something that is real too bad. So if you talk about Uganda, let's be frank.
Well, that has been it for today. Thank you for watching. Continue subscribing.